Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about a story that's going to have you scratching your head, man. So there's a rapper from Houston who allegedly was also doubling as a robber, man. He did some specific robberies. Specifically, he was robbing ATMs. And for some reason, according to these news stories, he decided to start rapping about it. Now, this guy goes by the name of 213 Jugg God. Now, that's based off the name, for jugging, going out there and getting it. Everybody who's familiar with the term understands what that means, right? Now, what's crazy is I almost got secondhand embarrassment from this news story because you're going to hear that Jugg God was allegedly rapping about the very same things that he was doing in the streets, man. And it's got you scratching your head like, man, does anybody ever want to keep these things secret? Like, do you have to rap about every part of your life? And when you look at his social media and his homeboys' social media and all that stuff, you see they were playing with a lot of money. So obviously whatever they were doing was working for him until they got caught. Now, this is not to encourage anybody to do any type of crime or anything like that. You should always stay away from those things, you know what I'm saying? Because this is not a smart move, as you're going to hear in the story. And rapping about it is probably the worst thing you could ever do. Now, before we get to the specifics and play these clips, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, man, let's talk about this news story coming out of Houston. So in the local news there in Houston, there's a headline from the Fox News 26 affiliate there. And it says this in the headline. It says, Houston man raps about robbing ATMs on YouTube. Later, arrested after allegedly robbing an ATM. Now, this has everybody face palm like, what in the world are you thinking, dude? Like, what sense does this make? And let's actually look at a clip from the news story that ran last night in the local news in Houston.
Tuesday, the rapper, along with these three others from Houston, were arrested out of state near Nashville, Tennessee, accused of robbing an ATM technician at gunpoint.
Now, as you heard in that short clip, the rapper 213 Jugg God, he was accused of robbing ATMs or trying to rob somebody at an ATM, and then they ended up getting caught on their way back, you know what I mean? Now, what's crazy is he pretty much laid the blueprint of their whole operation out in a song that he dropped by the name of Make It Home. Now, in this song, Make It Home, the whole idea is he's out of town robbing ATMs, and then he comes back and he's trying to make it home, you know what I'm saying, without getting caught. Now, one would think, okay, wanting to be a rapper, wanting to have some sort of fame is one thing. But do you have to give them the whole plan, plot, and everything that you're doing in your life? I understand, man. We like rappers who keep it real. We like listening to street music and stuff like that, different type of details, things people relate to. It gets them through whatever, right? But, man, when you lay out the whole plan and even have a song about your return and stuff like that, are you doing just a little too much, dog? Now, let's also look at this next news clip right here before we get into the story.
Police found these stacks of cash with Darius Dugas, Sassandre Dugas, Christopher Alton, and with Dijon Riley.
Now, as you saw in that clip right there, they're saying that they found them with all that money. They allegedly caught them with all that money. If you saw that money, man, that was a lot of cash. I'm assuming robbing ATMs, you're going to come up with a lot of cash. And it's hard to account for all that money if you don't have like a legitimate job or purpose out here. So when they got nabbed up, man, they obviously, they probably already had their heads down like, man, how in the world are we going to make it out of this? Because the story gets worse. Because two of these guys already had felony convictions, man. They already had felonies under their belt. And when they looked at their music video, they happened to see weapons. Now, I'm not sure if those weapons are real or not, but it just doesn't help the case. You know what I mean? So let's actually look at this one last clip real quick.
Online criminal records revealed Darius Dugas and Dijon Riley were out of jail on felony bonds, both arrested several times before.
Convicted felons doing their music videos with guns.
Now, as you heard in that clip, man, these two were allegedly felons. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were already out on felony bond. Now, you look at their social media, you see them riding around in Ferraris, all sorts of things, man. Like, do they not think that any red flags would go off and people would be looking at them? Now, you can't tell how many times that they might have gotten away with this if this is what they were really up to, right? But based on their social media, it seemed like they ain't care because For them to be felons and not to be able to have guns, you see multiple times on their social media page where there's weapons available or in the picture. You know what I mean? That's not me diming them out. That's me just stating the obvious of what I see. You know what I mean? So this is a crazy situation. And it makes you think, like, man, a rapper's got to the point where they just sharing way too much these days. I mean, wouldn't it make sense that, you know, if you got something outside of the law that you're doing, not to publicize it through your music? You know what I mean? I know reality raps, drill raps, things like that, they're catchy, man. And people like that stuff, right? But man, why sacrifice your safety when the whole idea is to make rap money so that way you're able to spend it, you know, and not even have to worry about things in the future, man. Now let's talk about in this news story what they exactly are charged with and what they're saying they did. Now, authorities say that 4 Texans approached an ATM technician from behind and told him to not do anything stupid and to hand over money. So basically saying that there was a robbery. You know, 4 people approached him with weapons at him, said, hey, don't do anything stupid and hand over the money. Now, in that case, most people are just going to give up the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, no reason to risk your life or safety over some money that's probably already insured. Now, it goes on to say that later that day, Nashville Police, Dixon Police, and the Tennessee Highway Patrol, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, so that's the FBI, y'all, Violent Crimes Task Force, tracked down and arrested the 4 individuals. Now, I'm wondering how they tracked them down. You know what I mean? Did they use their phones? Did they have cell phones with them? What did they give up in order to be found? Because, you know, that's valuable information for people. Man, hopefully nobody who has any bad intentions or whatnot. But it adds to the story when you find out the whole idea or where they messed up, where they got caught. Just like any movie or anything that you watch, right? Now, online criminal records reveal at least 2 of the suspects were out of jail on felony bonds and had been previously arrested several times. And according to the report, 213 Jugg God was one of the people who was out on felony bond. So, man, what's crazy is his song has seen more ticks, like gotten more views since he's been locked up. But a lot of people in the comment section are clowning him, man, because he was doing way too much. Now, the story ends by saying this. It says all 4 of the Texans face federal charges. The FBI is now investigating to determine if they committed similar robberies before. So it looks like the FBI is involved. They were probably on their trail because based on, you know, a lot of the things that you see on their social media and stuff, I mean, they're going to ask where they got all that money for Ferraris and all that stuff from, you know, the chains and all that. And if they can prove that it had nothing to do with, anything illegal, good for them. But they're going to be digging, and it looks like they got a Fed case to fight this time. Now, with that, this has been your... Hold on. What do you guys think about this? Are we at a point where rappers are sharing a little too much information to where they're getting jammed up left and right? Or this is just some of what people like in rap music and, you know, rappers feel the need to share their life experiences, especially if they live in that street life. Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.